My name is Bethan McHugh. I'm a member of the Modern Languages subject team at WJEC Eduqas. We have produced this short series of videos to support the teaching and learning of GCE modern languages. This video is designed to explain our resources for A-level themes. In conjunction with teachers and examiners, we have produced a series of digital resources to support the teaching and learning of French, German and Spanish at GCE. All of these resources are free and available on our website. There are interactive and PDF listening, reading and translation activities which support the teaching of all 4 AS and A-level themes. They can be used to support teaching and learning as a whole class or independently. As you will see on exploring the resources, they're not intended to provide an exhaustive coverage of the entire theme, but they are designed to act as a springboard to help teaching. Our consultant teachers and examiners have written these resources to help teachers start their own preparation for the AS and A-level course. Teachers will naturally want to add their own materials as they explore the theme and work through the sets of resources we have produced. I'm now going to show you how to find the Eduqas resources. We have lots of questions from teachers on how best to find these resources and navigate around our website. There are 2 main ways to find them. If you go to www.eduqas.co.uk, you will see on the website the option to select a qualification. As you can see, that's highlighted here. You can then choose French, German or Spanish. This will then take you to the menu that will allow you to choose the resources. A more extensive explanation of finding the resources will be found on our introduction video, in which I go into the navigation around the website in more detail. The second way of accessing the digital resources is by simply clicking on the Digital Resources tab. This will then lead you through a series of choices which will once again bring you to the same place. The thematic resources that we have produced are designed to cover all 4 of the themes under the broad areas of interest for AS and A-level. Theme 1, being a young person in French, German or Spanish-speaking society, has got listening, reading and translation exercises on the 3 bullet points which come under this topic: family structures, traditional and modern values, friendships and relationships, youth trends, issues and personal identity, educational and employment opportunities. Obviously, there's not an exhaustive coverage, however, it's a really good springboard and a start for teachers to be able to see how to approach these topics in class. We then have a series of resources to support Theme 2, understanding the French, German and Spanish-speaking world. The resources for this theme cover regional cultural heritage, as well as media, art, film and music. With regards to the second bullet point of film, it's also worthwhile looking at our film resources here, because even though the resources may be on films that you are not actually studying, you could use those resources to help support the teaching of this theme as well. Those will also be covered in a separate training video. The resources on Theme 3, Diversity and Difference, give a good coverage of migration and integration, cultural identity and marginalisation, cultural enrichment and celebrating difference, and discrimination and diversity. Theme 4 is obviously the theme with a historical impact and is different for each of the 3 languages. Therefore, there are separate resources available to support the specific teaching of Theme 4 across French, Spanish and German. These all match up to the bullet points from the specification and the themes and suggestions of how to cover them. They're excellent ways to start teaching this topic. As I know from being out and meeting teachers at CPD, this is an area that many teachers have worried about. And we're at pains to point out that the new specification doesn't require teachers to be history teachers. It is approaching the language of the country through the history as a vehicle to help study that language. And, indeed, it's very difficult to learn about modern France, Germany or Spain without exploring the past and some of the things that have made the countries what they are today. Therefore, these resources will hopefully help teachers feel a little bit calmer about approaching this topic, put their minds at rest about the level of historical detail they need to include, but also give them a really good starting point to help teach these resources in class themselves. So within each of the thematic areas which are covered, there are a series of interactive listening, reading and translation activities. For every single bullet point that was covered on the previous slides, you will find an interactive listening activity, a sound file, a transcript and printable resources. This allows you to turn them into worksheets and to use them either as a whole class activity or to set pupils to study at home. We also have interactive and printable activities for reading, and the translation will obviously offer translation into English and also from English into French, German or Spanish to meet the needs of the new specification, where translation is a much more targeted skill. We also have a series of GCSE resources that many teachers have found useful for the early days of AS teaching in Year 12. If you would like further information on any of these areas, please watch our other training videos. We have a longer video on an overall introduction to the AS and A-level resources. This one gives you an in-depth approach to the resources, showing how to navigate around the website to find everything and explains everything that we have available. We have a video on accessing the Teacher's Guide, which is a very useful resource. We also have a video explaining what's on the film and literary resources and how to access those. And we also have a training video on the Language Toolkit, where we demonstrate some of those toolkit resources. Those toolkit resources are also very useful because you can use resources from any of our other areas and put them into the toolkit to exploit them and use them in a different way, or your own resources. So if you'd like more information on those, please do watch our training videos. If you have any questions about any area of the new specification or about our resources or any of the ways in which we support teaching and learning, please do get in touch. Amanda Roberts and Carl Sage are our subject officers. Candice, Gillian and Claire, the subject support officers. You can contact everybody, as you can see, through the email address languages@eduqas.co.uk.